Oh my gosh, it is cold today.
See you later, baby.
Say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hi guys, welcome back. Happy New Year, happy 2025. I hope you all had such a lovely Christmas and enjoyed the last couple of weeks. We had such a lovely time, and honestly I'm all for just being super grateful for whatever kind of Christmassy time you get with family. But it wasn't like the best Christmas we've ever had, only because we were just sick. I mean, I honestly feel like I've been ill for the whole of December, and it meant that I just didn't feel like I got to throw myself fully into all the festivities in the ways that I normally would. And if I'm honest, I'm still not 100% better. Like my voice still doesn't feel like it's 100% back to normal. My chest is still like, I can feel it's still like a bit congested. I've still got a bit of a cough, but I can't not move my body any longer. I don't think I've done a drop of exercise since the beginning of December. So we're at the gym today, and I think I'm just gonna do like a 60% effort, like relatively relaxed, probably a bit of a walk on the treadmill, some stretching, some like Pilates style stuff, and then hopefully I'll lift like some weights, but I'm not going to go ham on the cardio thing because I just think my lungs need a little bit longer to recover. But I'm starting to feel so stiff because I've honestly been bedbound or sat on the sofa. So I'm so excited to be back doing things today. I'm so excited for the rest of the day. If you've been around for a few years, you might already know that my approach to January goal setting is not necessarily like full throttle on the 1st of Jan. It's more of a slower build into the start of the year, and I'm definitely feeling that again this year. But we'll talk all about where I'm at with goals and how I want to approach my goals this year, how I want to make sure that I achieve the goals that I set, and that we just have like the best 2025 ever without putting too much pressure on ourselves, without beating ourselves up about what we haven't achieved or what we see other people achieving. We'll go through all of that a little bit later, but for now I'm gonna go move my body, and I'm really looking forward to it, even if it's just something super light. I am gonna set some fitness goals for 2025, but again, we're not doing that yet. I'm not there yet. So anyway, for now, let's go do some exercise, and then we're gonna head straight from here to the shops to do a bit of a food shop, and I'll chat to you in a bit. Oh, I feel like my energy levels did kind of die there towards the end, but that's exactly what I wanted. I literally was like in and out in half an hour. I did a 10-minute walk, like an incline walk on the treadmill. I was like, I really want to run about halfway through. I'm really glad I didn't. I was like, no, don't, because you want to be able to like come back tomorrow, or you want to be able to come back like the day after tomorrow. And if you overdo it, then it's just not worth it. And then by 10 minutes, I was like, so I'm glad I didn't actually run. And then I just did that bit of weights. I didn't really bother with free weights because I feel all a bit like wobbly, like, you know, when you're all a bit spacey. But I used like a load of weight machines, which was really nice. And then the best bit, I have to be honest, was the full body stretch I did. I cannot recommend. If you have been just like feeling a bit slumpy, or over the Christmas period, you just haven't really moved a lot, or you've also been ill, the answer is a full body stretch. It felt so unbelievably good to just like, loosen up everything. That is my biggest sign. I need to stretch more often. Anyway, let's head to the shops. I really want to get some stuff so that I can be better at meal prepping. 2025 is my meal prep era. I just feel like I never have anything like ready for me to just eat if I want to. Our freezer's so small, so I've never bothered putting stuff in the freezer, but I want to do a bit of like a freezer clear out so I can actually have some meal prep stuff in the freezer, and some like overnight oats, and just stuff so that when I'm feeling lazy and like I can't be bothered, I'm basically just trying to make my life easier in 2025. I just want a simple life, you know, I want a simple life. So we're gonna go get a load of meal prep stuff. It is still absolutely freezing. The frost is like slightly died down, but to be honest, it's still thriving. Apparently we're getting 15 centimeters of snow tomorrow, which is crazy. That's like this much, which in this country is significant. It said actually 15 to 30 centimeters. That's like this much. Whoa, I could even make a tiny snowman. Hopefully it does come. I missed the snow last year. Right, shut up, Helen. Let's go to the shops. Okay, we're back. I've had my full everything shower, made myself a cup of tea. I don't know if you saw, but I now have a little round pot in my coffee corner that's filled with chocolate digestives, and it's the best decision I've ever made. As soon as the pot empties, it just gets refilled with chocolate digestives. Best decision I've made. That was actually a 2024 decision, but I'm very happy to be taking unlimited chocolate digestives into 2025. Anyway, let's talk. Let's talk all about 2024 and all about 2025. I'm in the coziest setup. The fire is thriving. I'm in my new favorite chair. Cameron and I are still competing for the chair every single day. We both are obsessed with it. And it's time to talk vision boards. So before we dive into looking at my 2024 vision board and going through what I hit, what I didn't hit, and thinking about my 2025 vision board, I just want to zoom out a little bit. For me, January and goal setting, personally, I love a fresh start. I am such a sucker for a new beginning, a new year. It fills me with so much hope and so much excitement, so much nostalgia for the previous year and like sentimentality for all the amazing emotional moments I'm going to have in the year to come. But I think it can also come with a lot of anxiety if you apply too much pressure. I don't know when I first started rewriting how I look at January. It was probably a few years ago now, when I just had this realization, or maybe I read it somewhere on the internet, but I realized that nature, the new year for nature doesn't really start until kind of March, April time. It's a spring thing. Spring is when nature reawakens again. It's when its new year truly restarts. And actually January is like the depths of winter, or it is for us in the Northern Hemisphere. We're in the depths of winter. It's not natural for us at this time to be completely rejuvenated and full steam ahead and being super productive. And in like the throes of thriving, that's really more of like a May, June type of thing, when abundance is all around us from a nature perspective. And I don't know, I don't consider myself a very hippie person, but I do think mirroring nature as best you can brings you so much like peace and comfort, and all of a sudden everything just starts to feel a little bit more aligned. So ever since I started viewing, especially January and February, as quieter, calmer, peaceful, true hibernation months where I really reflect, I plan, but I don't stress myself out about doing lots of stuff right now. My years and my months have just been so much more, I've just found this time of year so much more enjoyable, because I was definitely in a habit, especially in like my early 20s, where you already feel behind on the 1st of January, because from the 1st, you're already or I was already feeling like, oh, I've woken up late because I was out last night because it was New Year's Eve and I wanted to do dry January, but I was actually technically drinking past midnight, or I wanted to get up and go to the gym, or I wanted to eat healthily, and you feel like all of that stuff has to begin on the 1st of January, and then you immediately feel behind. And the whole of January feels like this crazy catch-up month. So some of that is still inside me, like I still feel like I haven't set any goals yet, and how can it be a week into Jan and I haven't set any goals? But I am so determined to, like, just over the years, truly rid myself of that pressure. So I'm taking the entire month of January to get myself set up for the new year. This is how I like to do it. If you want to do it with me, if you want to do things a little bit slower, then please join me, because we're going to be resetting across the entire month. Final thing I'll say on like the conceptual stuff is I also think that sometimes the messaging around the new year is like new year, new me. And it's so much about changing the way we've done things before. And absolutely, I think if there are things that you did last year that you're not so proud of, or big things in your life that you really want to change to make yourself closer aligned to somebody that you're really proud of and somebody that you really like, then like that's one thing. But by and large, I think most of us are doing pretty amazing as we are, and we should all love the versions of ourselves that we were like a week ago, because in my head it's like 1 week later and all of a sudden we want to like change our entire selves, and I don't think that gives us enough credit for all of the things we did in the previous year and like the great people that we already are. And yeah, sometimes the January narrative can be so much about change, and I think chances are you're already pretty fantastic already and you really don't need to change everything, or maybe even anything, to be honest. You probably don't actually need to change anything about yourself, and you can just have another amazing year on this earth, spending time with people you love and just having a great time. So, okay, right, that all being said, let's talk specifics. So, my vision board for last year is so much fun to look back on. Right, let me start sharing my screen. First things first, if we're talking practicalities for making a vision board, then Canva is the place to do it. I've always done mine previously in Google Slides, and I said last year that was going to be my last time doing it in Google Slides. I think Canva is so much better. I'm obsessed with Canva. So I am taking a screenshot, or I'm exporting my previous Google Slides, and I'm going to insert them into Canva because I really like having all the previous years that I can look back on. Vision boarding to me is my favorite bit about goal setting. I think actual goals should be like SMART goals in the corporate world, or maybe it's beyond corporate, maybe it's even school, I don't know. But like goals should be SMART, which means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So you have to make sure that any goals you set tick all of those things, because it helps you get really specific on exactly what it is you're trying to achieve and means that you actually achieve it. Vision boarding is totally different. I'm not ready for goals yet. I'm not in the right mindset for goals yet. That's going to come later in January. But I am ready to do my vision board because it's so much fun. And I think it's worth doing your vision board before your goals. I'm sure everyone's different. I like doing mine first because the vision board like paints the picture of what I want my new year to look like and what I want it to feel like, and how I picture myself throughout the year. And then the goals is how do I actually put specific targets or specific things in place to give me that overall picture of the year. So goals become like the stepping stones in a way to achieving my vision board, but my vision board is my first like vibe setter of the year. So let's have a look. Let's look at 2024. It was such a fun year. So let's have a sip of tea. Okay, here we go. Let's zoom in, top left. So we're starting off the hardest one for me every single year. Fitness, moving my body, keeping my body strong. I really want to be in my 80s and still like getting up out of my chair. I want to be lifting my grandchildren and playing with them in the park as late in life as I physically can. And I can't do that unless I strengthen my muscles. And to me, fitness is like that simple. I do not know, therefore, why I cannot commit consistently. Anyway, I don't know what my exact fitness goals were because we're not reflecting on goals, we're just talking about the vibe. I did run in the year, so I definitely did have some of this kind of a vibe. And I do remember, I don't know what the exact goal was, but I'm pretty sure one of my goals was to be able to do 3 pull-ups, 3 chin-ups by the end of 2024. That failed. I'm not even sure I tried to do it once. So I don't know what that was. I think that was like, I set a goal and then nothing like ever happened with it. So that's pretty poor. I don't know what I'm gonna do about 2025. We'll have to see. Right, let's scroll down. Next, This one is insane to me. So I have these books. I really wanted to have like a girly, like bookish year. And this was the year that I really discovered reading again. This is when I first entered like the BookTube universe, and I read 90 books in 2024. I mean, I cannot, this was so ticked off. It's unbelievable. And the fact that it's like the pink flowers to match my pink room, it's so perfect. So I feel like that was definitely a big tick, was books. And I really want to carry all the bookish stuff into 2025. Rediscovering books as a hobby for myself has just been incredible. And I can't tell the difference anymore between what's a trend and what's like your own algorithm serving you up stuff. But I believe it's a trend beyond just my own algorithm. But the resurgence of hobbies and the return of crafting brings me so much joy. And I think there was such a long period, I think especially if you're my kind of age range, I'm 30, and if you're like roughly my age, I don't know if it was the same for you, but there was just a period of time of life. Hobbies were just not a thing, and you'd sit in all of those like icebreaker things at work, or there'd be all these situations, people would be like, oh, what do you do outside of work? Like, what are your hobbies? And it was like, nothing. We all watch Netflix. We don't have any hobby. Like, well, I don't know whether we're the generation of people that didn't have hobbies, but it's like I was in a sports club at school, and then I went to university and I had no hobbies. Like, that was it. That was the death of hobbies. I don't know. But the fact that it's all coming back and there's this re-emergence of like playfulness and crafting and such like, in a way, to me, childlike hobbies, but I actually don't think they are inherently childlike. Like if I think about it, my grandparents knit, my grandparents like crocheted and drew and did all of these kind of things that in my head are slightly childish, but to be honest, if they're childish, I don't care. I'm all here for it. There's so much joy in crafting. So I'm doing more of it this year. I want to read more, I want to craft more. We'll reflect that in the vision board in a bit, but we can definitely take that off. We can also then see 30. My 30th birthday celebration wasn't quite as like princessy, teacuppy as I had hoped. That was kind of like my vision for it, that it was going to be very like princessy delicate-y, and that didn't really happen. I always have such a vision for my birthday, and then whenever it comes around, I'm just like never really able to execute on it. I don't know what it is. I think maybe I get overwhelmed by my birthday a little bit. Anyway, I had a wonderful birthday. I saw all my friends and family for a bit of a party. It wasn't like a dancey kind of a party, but we had like drinks and it was really special. And I got to go on holiday with my immediate family and with Cameron, and it was just perfect. So my birthday didn't look like this. Maybe 31, I'll do like my pink princessy birthday party that I would love to do. But I turned 30 and it was amazing. Okay, let's head up here on the right. Home stuff. We had such a thriving year for home stuff. I feel like I'm basically sat in this exact chair, but in the colour that we actually wanted. We still need the lamp and we still need the bookcase, but we're making progress. Like the vibes are on their way. And I really wanted some old books and some candlesticks. I don't know if you can see the candlesticks up there, but we got the fun leopard ones, which was so fun to try and bring a bit of South Africa into our home. And the old books, you may or may not have seen the vlog where I've got my grandmother's old books from when she was a little girl. So the books that my great grandfather bought my grandmother for Christmas every year when she was kind of like 7, 8, 9, that kind of age. I've got all of her children's books, which is so special, and I've got them in here. Feeling good about house stuff. And then is there more house stuff here? Yeah, look at this. The fire. We did that this year, which is crazy. Or last year, I keep saying this year, last year. This year meaning 2024. We got the fireplace, best house thing we've ever done. I mean, we are obsessed. You only have to watch a couple of my vlogs to know that we are obsessed. Art. We need so much more art. That is next on the list. That's big on the list for 2025 for making our house feel more like a home. Right, let's go straight to the big stuff. My favourite quote, which just makes me think of Cameron every single time. He's more myself than I am. Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same. I think that's Jane Austen, but oh, I love it so much. It's exactly how I feel. Anyway, did my man, or did he not, see the vision board and then go out and get that exact ring? I mean, vision board pick, real life ring. He absolutely killed it. I'm so obsessed with my ring. I've now had it on for over 6 months and I just stare at it all the time. I just get stuck staring at it. I love it. Anyway, he did such a good job. So I got engaged in 2024, which is what register did my voice just go to? Anyway, biggest highlight of the year, it has to be getting engaged and feeling a level of like peace and security and I just feel like our relationship has just transformed through getting engaged. I think people have different experiences. Some people say that being engaged didn't really change anything, but getting married felt really different, or none of it felt any different necessarily. I think for me that being engaged feels really different. There's just something about the solidification of that commitment, and I think I've been in long-term relationships before in the past, so I kind of had that long-term relationship thing, and whether you want it to or not, or whether I wanted it to or not, probably being dumped out of the blue 5 years into a relationship just can't help but make me feel a bit insecure about like trusting my own judgment when I think things are all rosy in a relationship and maybe they're not. So maybe it was just like having the ring on my finger and Cameron just being my dream man that, anyway, so much security and like comfort, and just I love being engaged. That's all I'm gonna say. I love being engaged. And then I had the engagement ring next to the pictures of Italy because I thought that I was going to get engaged in Italy, and I did. He knew that we were never going to be able to keep that a complete secret. I just can't believe that when we got to Positano, it just looks exactly like this. Like, our hotel was just up the road here, like just up from here. And then I just wanted to take more trips, get in front of the sea. To me, this picture represents Greece. I've got no idea where this Pinterest picture is actually from, but I just love to go to Greece every single year. And I just wanted to thrive in summer, and we went to Greece for my birthday and it was amazing. We got all of our outdoor furniture this year. Again, this all just contributes to making our house a home. I did not do as much gardening as I was hoping I would. Cameron did. He did great at gardening. I did not, and I really do want to this spring, or I need to look up when you're supposed to plant them, but I do really, I've been saying it for years now. It makes me feel like I'm just full of hot air that I have just not followed through on this, but I've been saying for years, even since being in the flat, that I want to get more into gardening, and I really do. So maybe 2025 will be the year, and specifically I want to be planting florals and adding some colour. We're so lucky, the garden here is so well established, but it's very green, and I want to add some colour, so that's what's on the list. And then we move over to the final section, which is business, my career. And I really don't want to outshine getting engaged, because obviously that's huge. But the fact that I left my corporate job to do content creation, to be a YouTuber full-time, is the biggest thing that's ever happened to me, like as an individual outside of my family life. It's the coolest thing. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it. I didn't know if it was going to be a short-term thing. I just wanted to give it a try for the summer, and I love it. I love it so much. All of the negatives that I was worried about, like being lonely and feeling isolated and feeling like I wasn't necessarily stretching my brain in the same ways that I so enjoyed doing in the corporate world. I love it. Anyway, so every single year I put the 100,000 plaque on my vision board, whether it's like realistic for that individual year or not. It's gone on every single year since the first year I started my channel. I don't know if you can see in here, but I've like put my name to really try and visualize it. And I think maybe 2025, it could be the year. It means I need 40,000 subscribers this year, which is kind of huge. And I've never grown my channel by that many subscribers in 1 year before. So I have no evidence to suggest why that would at all be possible. But I think it could actually be the case this year. And what is so much fun is, although this bio is nonsense, I also felt like such a pipe dream for me, but I really wanted to get 10,000 followers on Instagram this year. And I did. I finished the year on just under 14,000, which is amazing. So that is it. That is a look at 2024, and we're now going to make one for 2025. So I'm going to add a page. I do all of my vision boarding on Pinterest. So we're going to head over to Pinterest right now. My Pinterest is so random. It's mostly like each room of the house that I want to deck out, and then like some really bizarre, I think everybody's vision boards are so bizarre. I've got some that are locked. Like, I've decided to lock some wedding things. So, spoiler, don't look. But if you want to look at what I've got on my Pinterest, I love stalking people's Pinterest. I think they're so fun. Anyway, I'm now gonna just quickly go through Pinterest, do a bit of a hunt for some of the pictures that I think, or that I want to encapsulate my vibe for 2025. And then I'll come back and I'll show you my finished 2025 vision board product. Let's do it.
Quick, tell me something inside the body.
Okay, so I've made some progress with the vision board. It's not finished. It's going to take me a minute to finish. This is, again, one of those things that, like, I'll probably spend the entire month of January tweaking it, and I want to get better at editing it throughout the year as well, so it just stays in line with what I'm hoping for. But I'll show you what I've got so far, and hopefully this has given you enough of an idea of exactly how I make mine. So if you also want to make one like the same way that I do, then you can. And I do recommend that you do make one because they're more powerful than you think they are. So let's have a quick look. We'll start top left. These two pictures to me represent a few different things. One, like running and moving my body, and actual like exercise and fitness and all that stuff. Two, getting out in nature more and enjoying the sunlight, enjoying being outside, ideally amongst a lot of greenery. And then three, I would love to be able to start enjoying exercise with friends more. I don't know why I can't do that now. I have like a fear of it, or like a bit of a complex about it, that like me going on a run with a friend, like I just, right now I feel like I could never. Like I'm just too insecure about me being like really out of breath and really unfit and like trying to have a conversation with someone whilst I'm really struggling. There was just something about it that like I just can't do exercise with other people. I just hate it so much. So I would love to overcome that, because I think there's something so sociable and so lovely. Like the idea of going for a run with my friend out in the park in the morning in the sunshine, and then like going for brunch together or lunch together or whatever, just sounds so perfect. Like I think that sounds, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. I just have to get over my fear, get over whatever it is in my head. If I could tick off running more this year, seeing more of nature and getting outside, and doing exercise with friends, that would be huge. I've put on my Instagram 50k. Don't know where that Delulu's come from. I'm currently on 14k, or just under 14k. If I could turn that into 50k by the end of the year, I would be overjoyed and slightly shook, but somehow I have to get over the shook part. Otherwise it won't happen. I need to see it as like, obviously I'm gonna hit 50k by the end of the year. That's the only way it ever has a chance of happening. So I'm gonna work on that. Right now I would be shook by 50k, but that is the dream. And then like the ultimate dream. Oh, I've stuck this has moved. This is over the wrong thing. Wait, ungroup. What is going on? This needs to be over this person's name, so I can put my name instead. So I've also put my name on the 100k YouTube plaque. It just feels like my ultimate dream. What am I gonna do with myself when I actually eventually hit 100k? I have no idea, but it's the dream. I would just love to have 100,000 besties. Like that's just, it's so many of us all enjoying the same vibe. I couldn't. This is the year. I would love to hit it so much. It's been my goal since like 2021. I don't know, but let's see. 100k on YouTube. And then I basically got some bookish stuff, of course. Books bring me so much joy. I would never ever get rid of the joy that the books bring me. So I want to read more. I want to read outside. And I also really want to explore reading some more different genres. Like I'm going to talk all about my bookish goals in one of my bookish videos, but the bookish stuff is definitely here to stay. And then as I mentioned, like I want to get more into crafting. I want to create a bit of a junk journal for my life in general, like not bookish related, just I want to get more into journaling my life and scrapbooking and making photo albums. I want to get back in the sea. I want to get back in the sunshine. Cameron and I are summer babies. Like we just belong in summer. It's just who we are. It has always been the case that autumn was my favorite season. And weirdly, I feel like over the last couple of years, that is changing. And I feel like actually, although I love autumn and there is something so special about that, about every single season, but about that season, I think I'm evolving into a spring girly. Like I think spring is my time. The way I feel so excited for spring and the joy I feel in springtime, and when I listen to songs on Spotify, like all the ones that I was listening to during spring last year hit extra hard. All my memories from spring every single year just feel extra like vibrant and special to me. So I don't know, I think I'm changing from an autumn girl to a spring girl, and Cameron and I as a couple are summer babies. Everything important that's ever been the case for the two of us has always happened in summer. So we want to get back to the beach, back to our happy place, back in the sea. I'm going to put some more travel pics on here once we've done a little bit more planning for what our holidays are going to look like in 2025, or what I want them to look like. I'll get some more pics in here. At the moment, those are quite generic, which I like to be a little bit more specific. Top right, we've got two very colourful, very fun looking salads and like a hosting table. I would love to host more in 2025, have people over, get a bit more of a hosting setup. I love our orangery and our kitchen so much. It was like the star of the show when it came to viewing this house and then buying this house. And I want to make more of it with our friends. And then the two salads, one, I'm a salad I'm a salad person. I love a salad. But two, to be honest, these pictures really just emphasize the fact that I feel like my cooking got really lazy in 2024, and I feel like I've lost a lot of the variety in the recipes that I cook, and cooking is one of my favorite things. I've always loved to cook. In this house, I'm the one that cooks. Whenever we go out to eat at restaurants, I'm the one that orders for the whole table. I just love food, and I feel like I've lost a bit of the variety. So I've got two pictures of two different salads that have like different seasonal ingredients. It looks like this one's like pear and blackberry and brie, which sounds incredible, and walnuts, and then like a peach and fig. And anyway, I don't know, I want to get into the groove of cooking with more seasonal ingredients and using those seasonal ingredients to spice up what it is that I cook each month. Maybe I'll even do a bit of a series of like seasonal recipes on Instagram. We'll see. Those are the foodie ones. And then this whole corner is going to be wedding stuff, but I'm probably going to do that privately and not show you that stuff just yet. We'll see how we go. We are going out to see our venue in South Africa in just a couple of weeks, and I'm so nervous and so excited. I think the only reason I'm nervous is that obviously if we don't like it, I feel like we're kind of back to square one because we've reserved it, but we're going to look at it to see if we want to release that reservation or keep it. And I know it's not sensible to do, and like people keep trying to give me alternative options, but I've done what I shouldn't have done, and I've just put all my eggs in this one basket. Like, I love this venue so much, and I just think it's perfect, and it ticks every single one of my boxes, and I can't picture a more perfect venue ever existing. So if I get there and I then don't like it, like, we're at ground zero with wedding planning. And I've like already told everybody the date because of the venue. This venue is available for that date, and I love it so much. I'm so into it. Anyway, so I'm gonna build out all of this wedding stuff a lot more of like this corner of the vision board once I've seen the venue, and once I've got a clearer picture. I think the venue dictates so much of what your vibe is like, or it does for me anyway, because I wanted to find a venue that was like beautiful in and of itself. So I think it's going to dictate a lot of the vibe. I just put one picture that I just saw on Pinterest, and just that picture was like beautiful, but this whole corner will need redoing with wedding stuff. And then the other thing that is still missing from here is like quotes or words of the year. I like to set either one word or a couple of words for my year every single year. I'm going to do that as part of my goal setting, so I don't have those words yet. But this is a good like first start. We've got most of it done from an aesthetics perspective. It's not pink enough. It needs to be pinker. But I think once I get some of the florals in there, like gardening representing spring, this isn't very springy yet. It's not as colourful as I want it to be. But yeah, that's a first look at the 2025 vision board. I hope you found that helpful. I hope you found that interesting. Can't recommend a vision board enough. It sets the tone for your whole year in the nicest way. I will then either print, well, I think this year I'm going to print it out and maybe frame it, or I think maybe print it out and stick it on the wall in the pink room. Also in previous years, I've set it as like my desktop background so you can see it. I don't think I'm going to do that this year because I don't necessarily, I think you need to find a balance between getting subliminal messaging from like seeing it every now and again to like spark you into action to make sure you're working towards the things on your vision board, and almost seeing it too much that you then like it doesn't hit as hard anymore. And that is it for the 2025 vision board. I will definitely show you a more developed version in a future vlog, but don't forget, vision boards are like just for you. They're super personal. It can feel quite vulnerable sharing them. I feel like over the years I've just started to throw caution to the wind, and I'm getting more comfortable just like putting out to everyone in the universe what I want, and if I don't get it, never mind, I tried. But you don't have to show anyone. You can make your vision board, put like the big stuff on there, like dream big, make all the stuff on there, like dream stuff that you really want for your life and that you really want for 2025, and you don't have to show anyone if you don't want to. Anyway, vision boarding has actually taken up way more of my day than I thought it would, but I'm happy with that, to be honest. I like taking it seriously and doing it properly and thinking through each picture, and if it really represents what I want it to. But this cold is really starting to get to me again. You can probably tell I'm sounding more and more nasally as like the vlog has gone on. So I'm gonna go take some more medicine, see if I can hunt down some Vicks to combat this congestion that's starting to get to me. And then this evening, my plan is to do some meal prep. And then we have so much more New Year prep to get to in future vlogs. I wanna show you some of my new bits that I've bought for journaling and scrapbooking and photo albuming this year. I've got a new little printer thing, which is super cool. And I've also got some new pens and stuff. So I want to show you all of that. And then we'll start talking actual goals. We'll get some structure in place so that we can make sure we achieve them. I'll share all of the tools and stuff that I use for organizing my life. To be honest, it's predominantly Notion, but I'll show you my Notion template that I'm really loving at the moment, how that's going to help me achieve all my goals this year. But honestly, the main message, the main thing that I'm telling myself this year, and now apparently telling you too, is to enjoy January, take it slow, ignore the pressure. Nature is still asleep, nature is still hibernating, therefore we are allowed to as well. But a new year is simultaneously a perfect time to get hopeful, get excited, and to start feeling that bubbling energy. It's the season to kick off momentum. That's the way to think of it. We're starting momentum, we're building momentum for the rest of the year, and we'll be at full pace later on. We don't need to be at full pace right now. We're just slowly speeding up, starting now. Anyway, if you're still here, thank you so much. You're a champion. That was a lot of me talking. I'm feeling so good. Today's been such a nice day, and I already can't wait for next week's vlog. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely week, and I hope you're having a lovely start to 2025, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye guys.